want to welcome every one of us to today's class. My name is Shegun Oke, and I will be your facilitator for this section. And let's try as much as possible to cooperate and ask questions when things are not clear to you so that we can be on the same page. So let me quickly share my screen as we proceed so that you can have opportunity. Please write. Don't just look at the screen. Write. You can complete your writing during when you are watching the video later, but that's fine. But make sure you're writing something in the class. It's not because of me, just for cause of you, so that you can have that opportunity at the end of the day. Okay. Can you see my screen, please? Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So today we'll be talking about general equation and let's say general solution. Under the general solution, what are the things do we need? The general solution. Number one, please mute yourself when you're not talking so that for the benefit of others. Thank you. So we have, under this, we have first order, linear differential equation. First order differential equation. But before then, do we still remember this when you are given, for example, if I give you this, when you have y prime equals to s cubed, what does it mean? Y prime equals to s cubed is the same thing as when you have the y, the x equals to s cubed. Then they can ask you to find your y. If I ask you to find your y, what do you do in this case? How do we find our y in this case?
Y is 2s squared.
Y is 2s
Y is
squared.
3,
No.
3s squared. 3s squared. 3s
No.
squared.
No. This is not differential. This is not the y, the s. So what you need to do in this case is just mute yourself, please, or else I will send you out of the system. Yes, Olufemi. You raise up your hands.
No, sir.
Okay. I don't know why it's there. Okay, let's continue. So in this case now, what do we need to do? Is just to, very simple, make the y the, so we said we cross multiply. We said the y equals to S3 dx. The y equals to S3 dx. So after you have this, remember that integration is anti-differentiation, right? So integrate both sides. Integrate both sides. Integrate both sides. So when you integrate both sides, what do you have? So you have integral of dy equals to integral of s cubed dx. So if I integrate dy, I will have y. Then I can go ahead and integrate s cubed. When I integrate s cubed, what do I have? I have x raised to power 4 over 4 plus c, where c is an arbitrary constant. Where c is arbitrary constant. Right. Recall that differentiation is very simple. How do we integrate? Let's recall. Recall that some of you will be asking, where do you get 4? How come? So, but let's look at it. Recall that when you have y equals to x raised to power n, and you have to integrate y, what do you do? When you integrate this with respect to x, integration means, so if I want to integrate, if I said to integrate y, what do we have? We have, okay, let's say the y, the x is equals to this. Then if the y, the s is equals to this, what do we have in this case? So take to the other side, the y equals to x raised to power n dx. So I can integrate both sides. And the law of integration here, this is y equals to, anytime you are integrating n, you are having x plus 1 over n plus 1, everything plus c. That is integration. That's a law of integration, right? So take note of this. This is what I apply here that make this one to be 4. So when I integrate this one, I can easily get this using the law of integration. Any question? Can I proceed? Yes. Okay. So now let's now go back to our problem for today. One of the topics for today is we're talking about first order linear differential equation. First order. Recall, we know the meaning of order now. So we are not talking about first order linear differential equation. This is my equations. So for us to have this, we have a general formula that says y prime plus p of x y equals to qx. Y prime plus p of x y equals to qx. Now, this is where we now introduce what we call integrating factor. We introduce what we call integrating factor. When you introduce integrating factor, how does it apply to us as individual in order to solve this type of question? when you have this type of question, using integrating factor, let's write, using integrating factor. Using integrating factor, what do we have here? We have integrating factor is this: I of x equals to exponential integral of p of x. Integral of p of x dx. I of x, don't forget, this is what we call integrating factor. We are not going to how to prove it for now, but let's just move on. We just need to apply it in this case. But some other times you can also check your books. How do they arrive to I of x? All you need is integrating factor for now. Let's just apply. So if I have integrating factor, how do I solve integrating factor? What represents integrating factor in my case? Then I will now have my y to be equals to 1 over I of x. 1 over I of x integral of I of x q of x dx plus c. 1 over I of x integral of I of s q of x plus c. Now, the question is, which one are we going to be using for anything we want to solve? So, as a matter of fact, remember example that I gave you here. I said you are given y prime. Can you see this one? We are given this. We are given this one. Our y prime lead us to this, and we have our y. It's the same thing applicable to what we are doing now. That's the same thing applicable to this. The y prime at the end of the day, we have y prime. Now, what is our p of x? This is p of x will be here in our integrating factor and will be attached to it. And at the end of the day, we have this. But now, just note this formula now. Now, we first of all need to know, how do we solve this one to get our I of x? Once you can get your I of x using integrating factor, then what do I need in integrating factor? I only need p of x, something that is attached. Remember, you have first order, and you have ordinary y, and you have q of x. But now let's look at the example. Example 1. Example 1 says y prime plus 2y, y prime plus 2y equals to 2 exponential x. 2 exponential x. Remember our general formula. Our general formula says y prime plus p of x, y, equals to q of x. That's our general formula, right? So in this case now, what is our integrating factor will be what? What is p of x in this case? Anybody? P of x is what?
2y.
Nope. What is, you are almost there, but no.
P of X is 2.
P of X is 2. Remember, you don't need to mention that to Y. If you look at the general formula here, you look at it, I of X, it says int is what? Exponential integral of P of X dx. So you don't need to mention that too. So it's your, you don't need to mention 2Y, the Y alone. That's a where P of X is equals to 2. And our Q of X is what? Anybody? Anyone in the house? Q of X?
Q of X is 2.
Nope.
2s.
Nope. So Q of X,
Exponential 2.
yeah, is 2 exponential X. Remember, the entire work there is no variable, there's everything there will be your Q of X. Am I communicating now?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's move on. Let's first of all find our integrating factor. I use it as integrating factor, IF. Our integrating factor is what? I of X equals to exponential integral of P of X dx. So, which is the same thing as exponential integral of what? 2 dx. Do you agree with me? So, all I need to do, yes, all I need to do is just to integrate 2 dx. So, I know 2 is constant. I can take it out. Remember, when you are integrating constant, it becomes a variable in integrating law. So, it's going to be exponential 2 integral dx. That's what we are going to have. So at the end of the day, we have what? Exponential 2x. Don't put plus c because that's not the final answer. Remember, we are still working on I. Then you now go to your general formula that I circled the other time, this particular y. We need this one now. So we can now go ahead and put it. So we now have y equals to 1 all over I of x integral of I of x Q of x ds plus c. So what do we have? What is our I of x? We know our Q of x. Substitute them. So you have it to be y equals to 1 all over Q of x is what? I of x is what? Do you agree with me?
It's exponential 2x.
Exponential 2x. Okay, good. Then we have I of x is exponential 2x multiplied by, which is dot, multiplied by 2 exponential what? X. Do you agree? Everything the s plus c. Now, I can merge it together using our normal arithmetic by saying 2x in brackets. I can take the 2 out as a constant, integrate others by saying exponential. You have 2x here, you have x here. What do you have? Exponential 3x dx plus c. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have exponential.
Sorry,
2x.
sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Please, can you explain from that 1 over 2 1 over exponential 2x?
Okay. Now, you agree with this formula?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then I know my I of x to be what? Exponential 2s. Substitute it
Yes.
here.
Yes, sir.
That's what we did.
Okay.
After that, we put your exponential 2x is here, multiply by q of x. Q of x is 2 exponential x, right?
Yes, sir.
is Q of S is here, is the one on the question. Look at it here. This is Q of S.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, well, after you have these two together, take the other two out as a constant. And
Okay, sir.
you know from the law of indices, anytime you have a raised to power x multiplied by a raised to power s is what?
That's
A raised
a
power
raised to
2x.
power 2x. Sorry,
A raised to power what?
2x.
2x.
Yes. So it's the same thing I did here.
Okay, sir.
I just said a raised to power 2x is here, right? Then
Yes,
I
sir.
have here, I have exponential 2x multiplied by exponential x. I have exponential 3x.
Exponential 3x.
Are we together now? Can we
Yes, sir.
proceed?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. So we have this. Then we can proceed by saying, okay, let's look at it. We have 2 integral of. Now, I can now integrate. That is why your calculus will now be interesting. I believe you did calculus in first year. So you can integrate exponential 3x. What do you have? If you integrate exponential 3x, what do you have?
Exponential 2x.
You said
4x divided by 4.
Exponential 2x.
Exponential 4x divided by 4.
4x divided by 4. Okay, good. I like your style. It's wrong. Remember, let me just quickly remind you, recall that when you are integrating exponential x, what do you have?
Exponential s.
You have exponential x over what? 1,
Yes.
which is equals to exponential s. But when you are integrating exponential 2x, what do you have? You have exponential 2x over what? 2. Are you following? If you are integrating nx, what do you have? You have exponential nx over what? N. Please take note of that. Go and check your notes. They are there. Okay, let's proceed. That's not our own. I'm supposed to even jump it. But because I'm trying to explain to you guys, over 3 plus c. Any question?
Clear, sir.
Okay, let's continue. So we need to now, since we have this, the next thing we need is to now resolve it, multiply it with the one outside. Then at the end of the day, you have your final answer. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Anybody? You have your 2 over 3. I can take them out. Do you agree with me? They are constants. I can now say this divided by each of them. Exponential 3x over exponential 2x plus c over exponential 2x.
Not clear, sir.
Not clear.
Yes, sir.
All I just separate them with the constant. I just take the constant out. 1 over 3 is there. Just take your time and check it. I just factorize this one out. 2 over 3 is out. Take them out. Because everything is still multiplied by. So at the end of the day, when you add these two together, remember the law of indices say a raised to power x divided by a raised to power y is the same thing as a raised to power x minus y. Do you agree? So you have this one to be a raised to power 3x minus 2x. That's the meaning. So plus C into minus 2x. So at the end of the day, I have 2/3. If you open the bracket, what do you have at the end of the day? The other side will still be constant. Anything multiplied by constant will still be constant. Don't forget. So here we have what? Exponential x plus C exponential minus 2x. If you can leave it this way, you get your full mark. If you leave, you multiply it again, you off your mark. Any question? Which one is not clear? Is it clear now? Silence means it's clear. Thank you.
Yes, sir. The only problem is how we get the integrating factor, which is I. That is still bothering my mind.
Which one is the problem here? You
So
can
yes, from if I of x is e exponential integral of p to the x. So I will get exponential 2x. And still
how
have
you
a
get
problem.
exponential 2x?
Yes, sir, as the integral factor is greater factor
I. Just
Yes,
all
sir.
you need to do is depend on the function you are given. Don't cram this one.
Okay, sir.
The function you are given will determine what your P or your Q will be. The question will be the one to determine it, not you. You don't have any business with that. They can give you any question and ask you to find, look at this. They can just say, okay, this is what we call general solution. General solution. Okay, let's look at the example 2. You will understand what I'm saying.
Okay, sir.
Let's look at the example 2. So that you will know that you can't cram anything in this case. Now, look at example 2 says x, y prime plus 4y equals to 2x raised to power 3. Now, my question is this. How do you solve this one? What comes to your mind? The first thing that must come to your mind is this equation, general equation. Do I have the same format in your question? If you don't have the same format, it simply means something is wrong. You need to first of all correct that question, make it in the same format with equation triangle. Am I communicating?
Yes, sir.
I think, let me stop sharing. I need
Yes,
to
sir.
hear. I'm coming. I need
Okay, sir.
the audience to talk. Okay, guys, let's get it right here. It's as if you are not getting it right. Listen, anytime you are given a question, the first thing that's supposed to come to your mind is, I have my general formula. Do I have the same? The question I'm given, is it in the right formula? Okay, for example, if you're given a quadratic equation, and that you know is a quadratic equation, but you are the one to put it in a general formula, right? You are the one to
Yes, sir.
identify which one is A, which one is B, which one is C. It's the same method we are using. All you need to do is identify which one is the. I know I'm to solve, because the question they will give you in exam will be, find the general solution of this. If they ask you to find the general solution of this, and you don't know whether it's general solution or not, you're in trouble. Are you following the question? Are you following my analysis now? So
Yes, sir.
now that you have general solution of something, then let's see how we can solve it. Where's the other lady that asked question the other time? Remy? Is she the one?
No, sir. It's Timile and Gafar.
Okay, Gafar Timilei. Okay, tell
Yes,
me,
sir.
do you understand what we are saying now?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, Sunday, do you understand? Okay. Peter, do you understand what we are saying? Anije, do you understand? Can we proceed?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me share the screen again so that all of us will be on the same page. Okay, can we see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you have this question. The first thing you need to do is, how do I remove x from y prime? Because the general formula, the general equation does not contain x. Therefore, divide through. I will just divide through by x. I will divide both sides by x. That's the meaning of divide through by x. So it's going to be x, y prime divided by x plus 4 over x, y equals to 2x cubed over x. Do we understand? So in this case now, what is going to be my, I'll now have this one cancel this. I have y prime plus 4 over x, y. Remember, this gentleman will stand alone because P is my P of x now, equals to 2x squared. Any question? So my P of x in this case will be 4 over x, and my Q of x in this case will be 2x squared. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's continue. Then let's look at the I integrating factor will be what? Will be I of x to be equals to exponential integral of P of x dx. I know integration will be the problem for many of us here, but don't worry. When we solve one or two questions, you will understand better. So we have it to be, in this case, our exponential integral of P over x dx. Integral of P over x dx. Don't cancel it. Oh, x does not cancel s here. Right? You have to integrate it. And it is very simple. Recall. I will still recall from here so that you understand. Recall that exponential integral of 1 over x dx is the same thing as exponential ln x, which is equals to ln, which is equals to what? Which is equals to, now, this is what will happen. Okay, don't let me put, let me just start from here. Let me do it one after the other. Integral of 1 over x dx is equals to ln x. And anytime you have ln x, another thing that will occur in this case will be when you now have integral of 1 all over x dx is the same thing as exponential ln x. And don't forget that ln and exponential will cancel. So you have it to be, at the end of the day, to be what? X. Because this and this will go, it will remain X only. Now, we are going to use the same method here. Let me just carve this one out so that you won't think. So in this case now, we are going to have, who can tell us the answer for this? Exponential what? Exponential what?
exponentially 4 divided by x.
Yeah. No. Now you have it to be, let me take my 4 out. 1 over, don't forget, I have integral here. So I'm going to have here exponential of 4 ln x. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, recall
No,
again.
sir.
Hey, okay, hold on. Recall
Sorry.
again. Don't worry, I understand. Let's just take it one, because if you don't understand this basic knowledge, where we are going, you may not even get what we are saying. So let's get the basic. I'm taking my time to explain. Please off your mic, mister. So now what I'm doing is this. You are taking me into integral again. You remember that you have integral of 4 over x dx. I know 4 is constant. I can take it out. I take my 4 out. It remains what? 1 over x dx. And I know this one from here. So what would it be? It's going to be 4 ln x. That's all. That's what I did.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, I'll go back to it by saying that, okay, once you have that, we have integral of exponential integral of 4 over x dx equals to 4. So I'll start from there. It's going to be integral. No, sorry. It's going to be exponential of, we have 4 1 over x dx to be equals to exponential 4 ln x. Do you recall that n log x is the same thing as log s raised to power n? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, we are going to use the same thing to say ln means log, natural log is still the same thing as ln. So it's going to be what? Exponential ln s raised to power 4. Then, if you agree with me, at the end of the day, ln and exponential will cancel. You have what? Exponential s raised to power 4 as your integrating factor. Now, we proceed from there. So, now that we have the basic knowledge of what it is, then we go to our general formula that says y equals to 1 all over I of x, integral of I of x, q of x, dx plus c. Now, we know our I of x, which is our integrating factor. We know our q of x, which is our 2x squared. Then let's substitute them. So what do we have when we substitute? You have y equals to 1 all over x raised to power 4, integral of x raised to power 4. What is q of x? 2x squared, everything dx plus c. So we need to match them together. I can separate 2, take my 2 out by saying 1 all over x raised to power 4. Here, I can say 2 integral of x raised to power 6 dx plus c. Do you agree? So at the end of the day, we have 1 all over x raised to power 4 Remember, we have 2. When you integrate this, what do you have? You have x raised to the power 7 over 7, everything plus c. So in this case now, 2 over 7 I can take my 2 over 7 out and multiply every other thing with x over 4, 1 over x over 4. So it's going to be 1 all over x4 into 2 over 7 x7 plus c. This is constant, right? I can take my constant out, take it out. 2 over 7. Then I will now multiply, take this one inside. It's still the same thing. 2 multiplied by 3, 3 multiplied by 2 is still the same thing. But we just want to remove all the x. So I can now say that 1 all over x raised to the power 4 multiplied by x raised to the power 7 plus 1 all over x raised to the power 4 multiplied by c. So what do I have? 2 over 7 divided by x raised to the power 7 over x raised to the power 4 plus c x raised to the power minus 4. X raised to the power minus 4 is still the same. Everything there is still constant. Then you know that x raised to the power 3, if I say x raised to the power 7 minus 4, I have what? X raised to the power 3. Do you agree? 2 over 7 into x raised to the power 3 plus c x raised to the power minus 4. That is our general. You can open it, you can leave it that way to be your general equation. Or you can multiply both sides. Just everything you have there is still the constant. That is y equals to 2 over 7 x raised to the power 3 plus c x raised to the power minus 4. Now, remember 2 over 7 is still constant. Anything you multiply with constant is still constant. So that's why we just leave it that way. But we can check whether we are right or wrong. Because how do you check this one? I don't want to complicate the issue, but I can still help you by checking it. How do we check? Let me just do this one as a check. Check. For us to check this one, remember this is our y, right? So let's differentiate this one, whether we are going to have the same thing. Remember the question. Are we together? Remember the question. The question is this. This is our question. Our original question says xy prime plus 4y equals to 2x raised to power 3. If you can get 2x over 3 back, that means we are right. Let's do it. We have y prime to be equals to, how do we differentiate this? We can call this one, or I can say, okay, for us to check this one, this is our general solution. But that, y equals to 2 over 7 s cubed plus c x raised to the power minus 4. We want to prove that we are going to have 2x raised to the power 3. How do we do that? Let's differentiate this one. If you want to differentiate, y prime will be what? 2 over 7 as a constant. If you differentiate what is inside, what do you have? Remember, differentiation is when you have y, your y equals to s raised to power n. Then y prime will be what? Nx n minus 1. You remember. as your differentiation. So when you differentiate this one, you have 3x squared plus constant is outside. I can differentiate what is inside. If I differentiate what is inside, I have minus 4 s raised to the power minus 5 because it's negative. Don't forget, this is my equation 1. I can resolve this one by saying y prime equals to 3 multiplied by 2. I have 6 raised to power 6 over 7 x squared. Then plus times minus 4c s raised to power minus 5. I can call this one equation 2. Then if I have this equation 1 and equation 2, remember from the onset, my equation says xy prime plus 4y equals to 2s3. That is, let's say, equation 3, because that is my question, right? Equation 3. Now, I have my y, I have my, let's substitute equation 1 and equation 2 into equation 3. Substitute equation 1 and 2 into equation 3. Let's see. We know our y prime, right? Let's substitute y prime first. X multiplied by y prime, 6 over 7. Am I communicating now? 6 over 7 s squared minus 4c s raised to the power minus 5 plus 4. What is our y? We know our y to be what? 2 over 7 s cubed plus c over s raised to the power 4. Right. So, plus s raised to the power 4 equals to 2s raised to the power 3. So, we can open the brackets with this. If you open the bracket, x multiplied by s squared, you have 6 over 7 s cubed minus 4c x minus 4. Because when you multiply this, it will reduce because it's plus 1, right?
Yes.
Then plus, let's open this one. 4 multiplied by 2, 8 over 7 plus 4c over x4 equals to 2x3. So now that we have this, we can now begin to cut which one cancel each other. You agree with me that this gentleman go with this, because if I rewrite this one, I will write it this way: 6 over 7 s cubed minus 4c over s raised to the power 4 plus 8 over 7 s cubed plus 4c 8 s raised to the power 4 equals to 2s raised to the power 3. This go with this. And if the two of them goes, what remaining I have here to be 8 plus 6, because they all have raised to power 3, raised to power 3, s raised to power 3. So 8 plus 6 will be what? We have 14 over 7 s raised to power 3 equals to 2 s raised to power 3. So 7 here 1, 7 here 2. You can see that we have the same thing. Therefore, we have 2s raised to power 3 to be equals to 2s raised to power 3. That's how you prove. So once you can prove this, you know that your answer is correct. Please take note of that. Any question? So what are the take home in this case? What are the things you need to take notes? Number one is to take notes that anytime you have x, you use it to solve the problem. But I think I still have one or two questions to solve because of our time, but we will still continue from next. But before we close for today, let's look at another question. So we only solve, this is you look at it. When you have 1 over, when you have, the first question we solve, we discuss, the first one we discuss does not have anything. It only, it does not have x here. Right. The second one has x, but the third one is of another form. Let's look at it. If you have this question in this way, x minus 2 y prime plus y equals to x squared minus 4. So how do we solve this one? So what we need to do is divide through by s minus 2. Divide through by s minus 2. So when you divide through by s minus 2, I'm going to have s minus 2 y prime over s minus 2 plus y over s minus 2 equals to x squared minus 4 over s minus 2. So what do we have? So this goes with this. So you have y prime plus 1 all over x minus 2 y equals to, remember you have to break this one, difference of 2 squared s minus 2 and s plus 2 divided by s minus 2. So this go with this. So at the end of the day, what do we have? So we have a general problem to be y 1 all over x minus 2 y equals to s plus 2 s plus 2. Any question? So in this case now, what is your p of x? Our p of x is 1 all over s minus 2. Then our q of s will be what? Our q of s will be s plus 2. So we can substitute it. We can do our integrating factor to be what? Integral of p of x dx to be equal to integral of 1 all over x minus 2 exponential integral of 1 all over s minus 2 dx. So when you find out, what do you have? Remember, it's still ln x, so it's still ln, it's still, the final answer for this one will be exponential ln x minus 2, which is equals to x minus 2. Because the ln and exponential will cancel each other. So our I of x in this case will be this. Maybe I should put this one as I of x so that you won't be confused. I of x. Our I of x in this case will be what? Will be this. Then we can proceed to our formula that says 1 all over I of x to be integral of I of x, q of x, dx plus c. So in this case, we know our I of x to be what? 1 all over s minus 2 integral of s minus 2. What is q of x in this case? Q of x is s plus 2 dx plus c. So when you open the bracket, you still go back to the general one that says y equals to 1 all over x plus minus 2 to be integral of, when you multiply the two, use void, x multiplied by x squared minus 4. That's what you have, the x plus c. Then I can, when I have this one, what do I have at the end of the day? I will have it to be y equals to 1 all over x minus 2. At the end of the day, when you multiply, integrate this one, what do you have? You have x raised to the power 3 over 3 minus 4x. Minus 4x, everything plus c. You can open the bracket, but this is your general solution. Any question? Any question? Silence means no question. But in another way, they can also give you another equation by saying 4y minus 3x dx plus 5x dy equals to 0. They ask you to find the general solution for this. How do we do it? Remember, recall that in this solution, you have y, our y prime is the same thing as what the y, the x. Do you remember? Then, if you know y prime is the y, the x, what do I need to do in this case? It's very simple. I will need to find my dy dx. I need dy dx in this case. What do I need to do? Is to divide both sides. Let me help you. Divide both sides by the x. Divide both sides by the x. What do? I will have it to be 4y minus 3x dx, everything dx, plus 5x dy over dx equals to 0 dx. 0 divided by anything is still give you 0 in this case. So, and the next thing we need to do is just to solve, the x cancel the x. So I have 4y minus 3x plus 5 dy dx equals 0. But I can rearrange this by saying 5x. 5x will be y prime plus 4y equals to 3x. Do you agree with me? Hello? Do you agree?
Yes.
Remember, q of x is the one that contains q of x will be the other side. Based on our formula, let's call this one equation 1. Remember, y prime plus p of x of y equals to q of x. So anything q of x in this equation will move to the other side. Anything related to x will move to the other side. Now, what we need to do, remember, we still need y prime alone. So what we do is what? Divide both sides by 5x. And I said divide both sides by 5x. So if you divide both sides by 5x, I have 5x y prime over 5x plus 4y over 5x equals to 3x over 5x. At the end of the day, what do I have? This gentleman will cancel this. I have y prime plus 4 over 5x, all in brackets of y, equals to, you divide this one also, this go with this. You have 3 over 5. Now, we can boldly see that our P of x is equals to 4 over 5x. I did not bring the x up because I know it's division. Don't make that mistake. Don't write, it's not the same thing as 4 over 5x. No, it is not. Please take note of that. Because what this thing is simply means is 4 over 5, 1 over x. That's the meaning. That's the meaning of it. So it's not the same thing as 4 over 5x. No, please take note of that. Then our Q of x will be what? 3 over 5. Let's quickly find our I of x. Our I of x will be what? Exponential integral of P of x dx. Remember, what is my exponential? What exponential integral of 4 over 5 into 1 over x dx. Just to make my work smoother, I can now take my 4 over 5 out and deal with my 1 over x alone. I'll now say 4, I'll just say integral of 4 over 5 outside, 1 over x dx, which is the same thing as integral of 4 over 5 ln x. Remember, 4 over 5 ln x can also come up. According to law of logarithm, it can also be exponential ln x raised to power 4 over 5. Based on the law of logarithm. So at the end of the day, our I of x will be x raised to power 4 over 5. Because log integral, natural log we cancel by exponential. So we have it to be y equals to 1 all over y over x. I know this one. I over x. You know that one. You see, each of the questions, I'm trying to write the formula back so that I can be part of it. So that if you don't write it, you're just solving it, you don't write the formula along the line, just think, oh, I know it, I don't need it. You need it, please. Always write it. It will give you, it will stick in your brain, and from then you'll be able to cope. So y equals to 1 all over x raised to power 4 over 5. Yes, we have integral of I to be x raised to power 4 over 5 multiplied by q of x is what? 3 over 5. And the x plus c. Take your 3 over 5 out. You have x raised to power 4 over 5 to be 3 over 5 integral of x raised to power 4 over 5 dx. Everything plus c. So when you integrate this, what do you have? What do you have when you integrate it? Anybody? Okay, let me just integrate this one alone so that you can get where we are going. It is very simple. Integral of x raised to power 4 over 5 is the same thing as dx is the same thing as x raised to power 4 over 5 plus 1. That is the meaning. Divided by 4 over 5 plus 1. Remember the law. When you resolve the two together, you have x raised to power 9 over 5 over 9 over 5. By the time you simplify it for that, you have x raised to the power 9 over 5. You know, it's supposed to be divided by 9 over 5. Then find it to be what? X raised to the power 9 over 5 multiplied by 5 over 9. So this is what we are going to have. Then I can substitute it back to this place. So if I substitute it back here, I'm going to have x raised to the power minus 4 over 5. You remember inverse of it will be 3 over 5 multiplied by x raised to the power 9 over 5 multiplied by 5 over 9. Everything plus c. 5 can go to 5. This can go to this, remain 3. So what do I have at the end of the day? So I have at the end of the day to be x raised to the power 4 over 5 into x raised to the power 9 over 5 divided by 3. Everything plus c. Then when you open the bracket to multiply what is inside and outside, so we are going to have x raised to the power 9 over 5 divided by 3 x raised to the power 4 over 5 plus c over x raised to the power 4 over 5. You can simplify further. If you simplify it further, you are going to have, when you simplify this and this together, what do you have? You have this. What I'm saying is, if you simplify that, x raised to the power 9 over 5 minus 4 over 5, you will have x raised to the power x. So at the end of it, simply means I have finally 3x plus c x raised to the power minus 4 over 5. This is the general solution. So guys, you're welcome to elementary differential equation where things are sweet. But I'll give you a question to go and solve by yourself on your own interest, and I will try and give, I will not give you the final, okay, I can give you final answer so that you can solve it and make sure you get it. In this case, we have, this is for number 5. This particular, you have it to be dy dx equals to x squared minus y all over x. Dy dx equals to x squared minus y all over x. How do you solve it? That you have your p. What is your p of x and your q of x? And your q of x. What is it? What comes to your mind? How do we arrive at this? Y prime plus p of x or y equals to q of x. It's very simple. Do I need to explain it for you? Hello?
We'll try this, sir. No.
Should I explain? Or
Yes,
you
sir.
can...
Explain.
You said
Yes,
what?
please explain. Explain,
Explain,
please.
sir.
Okay. The y dx equals to x squared minus y over x. I can cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you have what? X dy equals to x squared minus y multiplied by the x. I think you should be able to solve the rest now. So once I do this, what do I need to do next? Who can just tell us to make y prime out?
Divide both sides.
Divide both sides by what?
By
Dx.
dx.
That's all. Divide both sides by the x. Then you have x y prime equals to x squared minus y. This one will go. Remember, I still need my y and x to swap. So what do I do?
Multiply both sides by x.
Multiply both sides by x again?
Yes.
No. So you have x, y prime plus y equals to x squared. This is what we have. Right? So you need y prime alone. What do you do? What do we do? Find out. Any question, please?
We can divide it by x, sir.
Thank you. When you divide it by x, what do you have? You have y prime plus 1 all over xy equals to x. Then you can now use your general formula. What is your p of x now?
P of x is 1 over x.
1 over x, thank you. Q of x is what?
Q of x is x.
That's all. Then find your final.
Yes.
Find your final answer. So you can see it's very simple.
But it looks simple because you are the one that solved it.
But you are the one that answered the question.
Because you've given us a clue now.
That's why, that's the essence of class. In the class, we will give you a clue so that you can solve it. You understand?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And with the clue now, you can see it's very simple for you to solve it.
Yes, sir.
So I will give you a question now. This question, I've seen it in your past question. So it's part of your past question, actually. They will just ask you, find the general solution. Okay. Let me give it to you so that you can go and solve it by yourself. And next class, we can discuss it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. The question says, you complete this one. Once you complete this one, I think you get, if you solve it very well, with what we have, you should have, you should have your final answer to be y equals to 1 all over 3 x squared plus c s to the power minus 1. Don't maneuver your way. Make sure you solve it. You know yourself. Another assignment is this one. We said find the general solution of y prime minus y equals to 0, y prime minus ay equals to 0. Okay, let me just allow you to do this one. I don't want to give you, I've not explained to you the general, I've not explained the what we call initial value problem. So when we get to initial value problem, I will give you complete question. So just solve this one. It's part of your exam. It's part of your exam pass question. Okay, guys. Any question I have in another class? Let me stop sharing. Do we enjoy the class, please?